Ooh, brand new day, chat. A brand new day. It's a brand new day. Spider-Man, brand new day. Let's freaking go. Waited so long for this movie to come out. I'm so excited to watch it. Gonna go meet up with my brother, watch it with some family today. And, okay, I got some predictions for the movie real quick. So, Sadie Sink's character, it's really secretive, so I'm thinking she's gonna play Jean Grey. We're gonna see freaking Hulk again, Raging Hulk. Don't know how that's gonna come to be about, but we're gonna see him pop up. And Frank Castle is gonna be in the movie. Really excited to see their dynamic, Peter and Frank's dynamic together in the movie. Heard it's like a brotherly type of dynamic, so looking forward to seeing that as well. And Tom's getting organic webs. I'm still on the fence about that, but hopefully they make it work, and hopefully it's cool. Hopefully it's cool. I don't know if it's gonna work out. I feel like it kind of lowers the stakes, but we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out. And other predictions. Matt, our boy Matt, Daredevil. Don't know if he's gonna be popping up. Rumors about Claire popping up in the movie. Who else? Trying to think. Got Scorpion, got Tombstone. I've seen nothing from Tombstone. I didn't even watch that second trailer. I stayed away from that. So I've only watched the first trailer. So my knowledge is I've seen some links online, unfortunately, but very minor stuff. Tried to erase it from my mind. So that's what we're gonna be finding out today. And we're gonna also get our answer as to if Mr. Peter 1 is going to be in Doomsday, or if it's going to be another Spidey. Yeah, a lot of speculation on that as well. So I'm very excited. Let's go. Welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So excited to be back for another movie review. Spider-Man Brand New Day. Right off the bat, wow. Just wow. If I had to describe it in one phrase, I'd have to definitely say this movie was a love letter to all Spider-Man fans, straight up. I got some notes here so that my brain's not too scrambled when I'm trying to think about how to talk about this movie. But this is gonna be a non-spoiler video. Keep it condensed, I'll keep it brief. So let's get right into it, okay? Non-spoiler talk. No spoilers, that will be in the spoiler video that I will do separately. So let's go ahead and get started. This film is better than Tom's previous Spidey films, because the amount of people that have been wanting this particular Spider-Man film is the one that we've been waiting for years and years and years. And it's finally refreshing to see that when you actually watch this movie for the first time, you can already see the night and day difference that it is compared to his other Spider-Man film. So what I mean by that is they went very practical. The filmmakers, the director, Destin Daniel Cretton, right? They went very practical for this movie, and it is, like I said, it's very refreshing. The suit alone, it's his best suit. I'm very glad that it was not covered in CGI, because if you watch his Spider-Man films, even in the Avengers films, and Spider-Man is just a plastic toy. I mean, I know he has the Iron Spider suit, but most of the time Tom is just wearing like pajama suits, or he is wearing an actual suit, but they cover it in CGI. And it's just like, can we go back to the basics? Can we go back to, a guy in an actual suit making this movie? Because it makes it more believable, and it makes it more appreciative, I will say. So that's what I have to say about his suit and his previous movies. Is it better than No Way Home? In terms of a story, here's what I'll say. In terms of a story, not really. No Way Home was tying together all the Spider-Man films, dating back to the first Raimi Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire movie, right? Comparing those two, Brand New Day and No Way Home, it's so different, because No Way Home gave us what we thought we would never see in our lifetime, seeing all three Spideys collide together and saving the day, right? I mean, that is still a dream come true itself, that was awesome to see in theaters. It's still my best theater experience. Unfortunately, my first time seeing Brand New Day, the energy was very low. There was no clapping, there was no cheering. I went to go watch it with my brother, and him and I were pretty much the only ones clapping and cheering and rooting for Spider-Man on screen. And something I really know, and we'll get into the spoiler section later. We'll get into that, but yeah. Anyways, better than No Way Home. I will have to say it's not fair to compare these two movies because they're very different. They have their own identity. Brand New Day is a very condensed and contained story. It's a Spider-Man story at the end of the day. Like, it really is. It's not, there's no Avengers. There's no references to Tony Stark. It's just Peter having to just be by himself and learn how to be Spider-Man, like, full time pretty much. So I'll get into more detail in a bit. This film deals with a lot of mental health and having to bear the burden of people that you have lost. So in the film, Peter is trying to, he's navigating the world alone, and he's trying to figure out how to keep it all together because of what he had lost in the previous film. So there's that mental health theme, like those story beats there. And pretty much to sum it up, it's, because of the spell that happened in the third film, it's still affecting his life even 5 years later, which is the time between No Way Home and Brand New Day. That is pretty much what the whole film is about. It's about mental health, him trying to figure it out all by himself, and later on in the movie, he figures, so-and-so. Some of the discourse that I have heard, it's a filler movie. What was the point of it? Some people were confused, and Sadie Sink's character. I'm not gonna say who she is in this talk, but like I said, I'll try to keep it condensed, try to keep it summarized. No, overall though, this movie was so freaking awesome. Just like, they finally got it. I have to give huge props to, Tom Holland for, he had a lot of say in making this movie. He's not just like the actor standing by and going along with whatever they want to do. He had a lot of say into what the story was going to be, how they wanted to portray that story, and what characters were going to be in it, and all that stuff. So big thanks to him, because and I heard online that he actually saw what the fans wanted and what the fans were, quote unquote, yearning for in a Spider-Man movie, particularly with his Spider-Man, obviously. We can compare Brand New Day with the other Spider-Man films. Right off the bat, as I said before, it's his best Spider-Man film out of the three. Some people might not agree with me. Some people might think that No Way Home is better, and that's totally okay. I don't hate No Way Home. I know we got Toby and Andrew in it. That was literally insane, and we got some of the old villains back. But if we compare it to like Homecoming and Far From Home, oh my gosh, like it's a night and day difference. And the filmmaking aspect to it, I can very much appreciate too. The cinematography, the choreography, these fight scenes were the most Spider-Man that we've seen Tom Holland's iteration be, like, ever. Like, when he's fighting crime and when he's swinging especially, he's become so much more confident in his abilities. And that's because we've seen him grow over the 10 years that he's been Spider-Man. So I was one person to say this, right? When Spider-Man Homecoming came out, I called it the best Spider-Man film. But then after, actually taking it in, digesting the film, which I think a lot of people right now are just getting off the high of Brand New Day. We've said that about pretty much every Spider-Man movie that has come out, right? Oh, Homecoming was the best. Oh, Far From Home was better. Oh my God, No Way Home was the best, Spider-Man film. How does it get better than that? We brought back, Toby, Andrew. You united 3 live-action Spideys together on film for the very first time. That's a huge bar to even set and then jump over. So, but you have to understand, people wanted a grounded Spider-Man film. If if you're in the Marvel community and you're, a Marvel fan, then you would know that there was talks of, or at least the fans wanted a grounded Spider-Man story. They wanted Daredevil, they wanted Kingpin, they wanted it to just be like street level hero basics. Not the multiversal stuff, not Spider-Man going to space and fighting aliens. No, people are tired of that. They want to go back to the basics. And honestly, Jon Watts, he did his thing, right? He got the Homecoming trilogy down, and he did bring Tobey and Andrew back, so I can't totally hate him. But what Destin did for this movie and his team and everyone involved, we need this team again for Spider-Man 5, like we do. I don't know what the numbers are looking like right now as far as box office goes, but easily I'm saying it's going to reach $1 billion because visually it's eye candy. Spider-Man swings so much in this movie, and it's actually one of the things that's kind of missing in the previous Spider-Man movies where, in Tobey's films and Andrew's, they only swing when there's like a battle. But like you see so much swinging in this film, and I won't get into too much detail, but there's a lot of swinging in this film, and it's so rewarding to see how they actually utilize New York City as a character for Spider-Man to just kind of swing through. In this movie, they do swinging so differently than previous Spider-Man films. It's very cool to see. And with a character like Spider-Man, you have to get creative. You have to get super creative because there is so much you can do with this character. Not only in his movement, but in the relatability aspect and his mannerisms, how he moves around other people. Like, it's great. It's great. It was just so, wow. This is what happens when you give, your director full creative control and you let them cook. You let them just do their thing, trust the process, and you're not trying to interject any other little things. It was great. It was good. And I don't get how other people are confused by it or don't like it, because I'm just like, well, first of all, did you even pay attention to the movie? And some people are mad that, it wasn't just like Spider-Man action 24/7. It dealt with heavy things, and we have to see this Peter go through it because of what happened to the last, do you guys not remember what happened to him in the last film? So I don't understand those people. But this movie, like I said, is a true love letter to true Spidey fans, such as myself. I've watched all of them, even growing up, just saying wow, Spider-Man is just such a cool character, and he's my favorite character in all of fiction. That's for sure, easily. I like Batman, I like Superman. Don't get me wrong, right? But Spider-Man is just so unique in his own way, and I think he looks cooler, I think his name's cooler, and his powers are cooler, and like I said, you can do so much with Spider-Man. You got to get really creative. And the creativity in this movie, especially in the fight scenes and the swinging, wow, they really set the bar. So I don't know how they top Brand New Day. I'm sure it's possible, but as Tom said, he wants to eventually get Miles in the mix, and maybe they can do some stuff like that. That is sort of the mindset, right? When you're making your next film, I gotta make it better than the last film, right? So I don't know what their plan is after Brand New Day. I think they're just gonna take it slow, see how Doomsday rolls out, Secret Wars, and then kind of start planning, because I believe Sony is working and developing a Miles Morales spin-off film. So that will be interesting to see for sure. But Brand New Day was definitely, I might have to give it a solid 9. A solid 9 out of 10, or even a 10 out of 10. I was just so in awe. I was like, this is a Spider-Man movie. This is it. And what I really appreciated too is it's in the MCU, right? But it's its own little story. Like it's just kind of its own little box, you know, in New York. I will say we have the Punisher. I forgot to bring up Frank, but if you have watched the Punisher show, or if you have watched any of the old Netflix Marvel shows way back when they started in 2015, just the pure comprehension that it took for myself included, and I don't know about other people, but I'm sure they're out there. Seeing Frank and Peter, well, we all know the Hulks in the movie. Seeing all those three guys together in a movie, I never would have thought we'd see those characters interact. One, because rights issues. Two, we had lost those characters back in the Netflix Marvel show days. Those characters, Netflix, they canceled a lot of their shows, so there was little bleak hope for those characters to come back, let alone on the big screen. I mean, we saw Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock in No Way Home. That was literally insane. And I have to bring this up. When I went to go watch Brand New Day, there were some, I don't even know what else to call them, but I'll say fake fans. I might have to save that for spoilers, but a character like Spider-Man, right? He's so popular around the world that some people will just go watch the movie because of the popularity, because it's being talked about, and maybe because they don't want to be left out of the conversation because of how popular he is. And when I went to go watch No Way Home, there was this classmate I had back in college. She had told the class that, you know, she went to go watch No Way Home and she thought it was pretty good, but she never seen like any of the other Spider-Man movies, at least Tom's, or maybe she watched the Tobey films, you know, growing up as a kid, but like just kind of like background stuff, or like, oh yeah, I'm familiar with those, right? That just kind of shows you the effect of the Spider-Man character. He's so popular that people just know him. What I'm trying to say is when they dig deep into the story and to the lore of the Spider-Man mythos, there are people that go watch the movie, but they're not going to understand any of references. They're not going to understand any of the other characters that they try to put in the story. Another example I can give you, Avengers Endgame. I was in high school when that movie dropped. I believe I was going into senior year. And when that movie dropped, holy crap, that movie was insane when it dropped. But I remember having a discussion at one of my tables in class, and there was this kid that sat right next to me, and there was another classmate of mine. She was in front of me, and we're all just doing our work, you know, whatever. And he brings up Avengers Endgame, and he starts talking about it. He's like, oh yeah, I saw Avengers Endgame, and I was like, blah 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 blah, right? And then the girl in front of us was like, oh no, please 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 don't talk about it, no spoilers please. So you see the effect of how these movies are. Even my teachers were like, guys, please, no spoilers for Avengers. And people would make up like fake spoilers, whatever. But anyways, the kid next to me, he went to go watch the movie, and then he was talking to me about it. And he said, well, I don't get it. How did Captain America pick up the hammer? And I'm like, okay, obviously you don't understand why he's able to pick up the hammer. And I'm like looking at him and I'm like, oh, okay, you're one of those people. Fake fan. I mean, straight up, right? I mean, I can't like sugarcoat it. I mean, fake fan, right? So it's like, I'll get into spoilers, but there was these people that were next to me in Brand New Day, wanted to go watch it, and when some characters were revealed, they were like, who is that? And I'm like, what do you mean, who's that? You don't even have to be like the biggest Marvel fan to know who this character is. There's a pretty popular character, well known in just Marvel comics. How do you know, and I'm just like, just get out of here. Just literally the exit's right there, man. Just make your way over there. Get out of here, right? So that's all I have to say though about that. The pacing felt really nice. At least, so here's what some people are saying, okay? It feels like two different films. And so after actually watching it twice, digesting the film. I'm starting to get off that high a little bit, and I can see what they're talking about. But no, I mean, it's still a very centered, boxed in Spider-Man story, and it's very refreshing. It's very nice to have that. I mean, what else can I say? I mean, look, my favorite Spider-Man film is Spider-Man 1. You know, a lot of people, ask me why, and a lot of times my answer is, well, it was the first Spider-Man movie to start it off. Not only Spider-Man film, but, it was the first film to kind of kickstart the whole superhero genre. And that's the success of Spider-Man 1. Studios were like, wow, superhero movies can actually work if done properly. They built off the success of the first one, made the second one, and then the third, and the rest is history, right? So that's why Spider-Man 1 is my favorite. And I'm not being biased. I mean, there's a little bit of biasness, there's a little bit of nostalgia involved, but I mean, look, I'm not the only one, okay? Some people are saying out there that No Way Home is better than Brand New Day, and I don't think it's fair to compare those films, right? Because this movie is where fans wanted Tom Holland's Spider-Man to be. He's let's just call him a veteran Spider-Man at this point now, right? He's kind of his own Spidey. So you take that version of his own Spidey and compare it to the other version of Spidey's where they're kind of just the only heroes in their universe, then that kind of feels like you can compare. But No Way Home, I'm just like, well, Tom Holland's Spider-Man barely became Spider-Man in that movie. He became Spider-Man at the end of that movie because I still had my gripes with his version of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He felt very much Spider-Boyish, Iron Boy Jr. You guys know. So this movie, I was like, thank you for getting it right this time. Yeah, I want to see more of this. I want to see more of this type of Spider-Man. And I just don't know how they go from here. I mean, it's like, I'm honestly okay if we don't get another Spider-Man movie for like the next 10 years. If Tom wants to take a break, whatever, cool. You guys poured your heart and souls into this movie. We can just keep Brand New Day for a very long time, and I'll be happy. I'll be happy with all the, Spider-Man films that we have up until now, because there's literally, live action wise, I think there's about nine of them now. So Brand New Day definitely makes 9 films, and it's great. So definitely go watch Brand New Day. Whew. It was a fun experience. I mean, just the movie itself. Theater experience was a little low energy. My second time though, the theater was pretty hyped. They were reacting to a lot of the different stuff that was happening throughout the movie, and that was great to see. So, spoiler section in the next video. This is kind of my non-spoiler review here. I very much liked it. It was my favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man film ever. And I'm very happy that I feel very blessed and very thankful, I want to say, to have even witnessed this movie. That's how I feel about any movie that I'm passionate about going to go see. And especially if the story's good and the movie is good in general, I'm always thankful because, life happens and you just never know. Life's full of surprises, right? So anytime you get to watch some good storytelling and some good cinema, you got to feel blessed. You got to feel blessed. So okay, guys. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my non-spoiler review of Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I will catch you all in the next section of spoilers. So thanks again for watching, and peace.